How do you make a superhero popular? You kill him. We're going to talk about that and more on today's episode of the Geek Watch podcast.
This is the Geek Watch podcast with Brian Hatcher and Mandy Petrie.
Greetings, Geek Watchers, and welcome to episode 189 of the Geek Watch podcast. I'm Brian Hatcher, and with me, as always, Geek Watch's own resident geek goddess, Mandy Petrie.
Hello, Brian.
And I got a rant coming, and I'm going to save it.
I figured that was on its way.
It's on its way. We got a rant coming, but I want to talk about some good news first. I did see today some pictures of Winona Ryder.
I did too.
As Lydia
yes.
Deetz.
Looks exactly the same. Same hairstyle. And yeah, I'm excited to see that and what Jenna Ortega is going to look like. And then when they said that Willem Dafoe was going to be a part of this movie, I thought,
Right.
if anyone should have been doing Tim Burton movies, it should have been Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he's
all
supposed
these
to be
years.
some sort of afterlife cop.
Awesome.
So that's
I love it.
I am going to have to admit, though, even though I've seen pictures, I still feel like I'm being punked. I'm not 100% convinced that this is not just a big April Fool's joke.
Big elaborate joke. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at April 1st, did you finally believe it, Brian? We gotcha. Of course, you've been on the internet. Every once in a while, you'd always see a poster of Beetlejuice 2. And I would have to say Beetlejuice for me, I wouldn't say it's like my favorite film, but it is the second, when it comes to films that I've seen multiple times in a theater, it's the second most. I saw it in the theater probably about 11 times.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and it was actually the first film that I went to the theater more than once to see the film.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, number 2 on my list. Can you guess number 1? I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's more than 100 times.
Rocky Horror.
Yeah, there you go.
I figure it was.
Exactly. Yeah, Rocky Horror far and above. I've seen that way more than any other movie. But
And how many shadow casts have you been a part of?
Just one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was riffraff for many years when there was midnight movies at the Park Place Cinema.
Yeah.
And they used to do midnight movies, and there was a group of us that did Rocky Horror.
Right. I have never got to be a part of a shadow cast
Oh,
yet.
it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I do miss that.
Yeah, the one time we were going to do it, it fell through, and so I haven't got to do that yet.
It was like the late 80s. It was a long time ago. But yeah, that was the great thing about Rocky Horror is that if you were one of those alt weirdos, and we didn't have the internet back then, that's how you found your tribe.
Yep.
And I've discovered that this was a common occurrence for a lot of different people in America and around the globe. They were introduced to alternative culture through the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's just a wonderful thing. But yeah, I'm still not convinced Beetlejuice 2 is a real thing. When I see it in a theater, then I'll believe it.
Right.
So I saw a few pictures from the set of the new Captain America movie, New World Order.
Really?
We have
How's that
Sam.
look?
Yeah, we have Sam in his costume. So,
Excellent. Good.
and it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be a great way to get into the new Captain America. I am curious about a lot of the shooting that's going on, both in Beetlejuice 2 and New World
Right.
Order, because with the strike, there have been some productions that have gotten shut down
Yep.
because writers have been striking in front of, and because of that, the Teamsters aren't crossing and all that. Now, of course, they can't be everywhere. And I have a feeling that they're sneaking in actors in and out to make sure that they don't attract a lot of attention so that the writers don't come in and strike.
Yeah.
But I know that they were going to do some pickup for Daredevil Born Again, and that got shut down because of strikers. So not everything's getting shot. Speaking of that, I did happen to see news that Loki's going to be released toward the end of the year. Now, it's going to be done on a weekly like they did before.
Okay.
But Echo, they're going to put the whole show out at once.
Oh, like binging. Okay.
So you can binge it. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't have as much faith in Echo, and they figure they're just going to put it out in one shot and just get people interested in it. I'm not sure. But I am interested in seeing both of those shows. And I was thinking about you when I saw this, as I've been seeing more pictures released from Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa. And we did talk about, in one of the podcasts, about him in his 70s gear.
Yes.
And they released another picture of
Leisure
him.
suits.
Yeah. They released another picture of him in Edwardian. I didn't think it was Victorian. I thought it looked more Edwardian to me.
Okay.
I'm not as cool as you, so I'm not 100% sure, but I hope I
I'd
get
have
at least.
to see it, but I wouldn't doubt that they might be recycling some costumes from Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Because Bridgerton's very popular.
Oh, yeah. Well, it seems like this version of the Doctor, most doctors, when they step out of the TARDIS, they're just wearing whatever they're wearing,
Right.
and regardless of what the time is, and people just seem to, well, he's dressed kind of strange, and then they just go on
Move
with
on,
it.
yeah.
It looks like this Doctor likes to immerse himself in the time period and dresses accordingly. So there's going to be a lot of costumes. And
Okay.
if somebody's really into costumes, whoever that might be, you're either going to really enjoy this or you're going to nitpick the heck out of it.
I'll probably enjoy it. I love them all. But I can see with the Doctor has to be very iconic. We have to recognize them right away. And so this will be a new take. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. So I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of costume changes if these pictures have meant anything. Now, did you happen to see the trailer for the Doctor Who specials that just came out? They announced the names of the 3 specials.
I think so. Remind me what they are?
Okay. The Star Beast is the first one.
Uh-huh.
The Wild Blue Yonder is the second one, and The Giggle is the third one.
The Giggle, yeah.
And that's the one with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, okay. And we actually got to see him in his tux dancing. And
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and they still had that glitchy look to them.
Right.
Yep.
So that's right around the corner. So we're definitely looking forward to that. But the Cannes Movie Festival is going on, and there have been some people watching certain films, getting a chance to see them. The new Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny it was a 6 or an 8 minute standing ovation.
Really?
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yeah, a lot of the reviews coming out are lukewarm, but the fans seem to really like it, and Harrison Ford cried a little bit during that. Of course, this looks like this is going to be the last, obviously, for Indiana
Right.
Jones. But yeah, he was really moved by it, and Stephen King gave his review of The Flash. He hates superhero movies, but apparently he liked The Flash.
Really?
So this could be a real problem for DC because it's like everyone loves this movie, but there's a problem. The star of that film, what are you going to do with him? It's not like you can bring him back.
You cannot bring back Ezra.
Yeah, we know you can't bring back. I know you can't bring back Ezra Miller. Okay, I know. But yeah, everybody's loving this film. This is like Ezra Miller would have been made. He would have been absolutely made.
Wow, yeah, that's...
He'd have been probably making these movies forever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But, there's all this good news, and then, you get your doses of bad news. For example, we knew there was going to be some cost cutting going on at Disney because there was some losses, although the theme parks were doing pretty well. And from the side of the amusement parks is they're closing the Star Wars experience.
Right, in the hotel.
Yeah, because for some reason, as wonderful as it is, they discovered that the average Star Wars fan doesn't have over $2,000 to spend on a hotel for 2 days. So it's very cool. It's very expensive. And that's the problem when you have, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a completely niche audience because a lot of people like Star Wars. And yeah, it would be cool to be in the world of Star Wars for 2 days and interact and decide if you're going to be light side or dark side and all of that great, cool stuff. And then, of course, the lightsabers, the way they engineered them, they're like live and they expand and it's amazing. And you can make your own lightsaber there and it's really cool and awesome. And it's extremely expensive and it's the kind of money that the average person just doesn't have. So
Yeah.
the vast majority of your audience is basically priced out of this whole thing.
Right. Star Wars is the everyman fandom. Everyone likes Star Wars. Something is more important than this lightsaber. Something else is more important than a night on the Millennium Falcon. It's fun. It's fantasy. And there's talk of Disney moving out of Florida and all this stuff. And there's already all these abandoned places in Disney, like the Blizzard Beach. It's an entire water park that's just gone to defunct. Is it going to become like this massive ghost town? What's going to happen to it?
What's going to really be interesting is where are they going to go?
Oh, there's so many rumors. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can imagine any state that were to get Disneyland would be, well, this would be Disney World because Disneyland's in California. But
Anaheim.
yeah. But anyone who could get Disney World, if you can just imagine what that would be like, that would be absolutely, for any state, it would be the boon of all boons. But where are they going to go? Of course, they pretty much have their pick.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube channel called Defunct Land. It's funny you were talking about defunct.
Yeah.
But it's called Defunct Land, and it's about abandoned amusement parks. It's an entire channel of videos about a lot of these things. And
old abandoned amusement parks, and you expect to see Scooby-Doo.
yeah. And a lot of rides that were popular and whether they've been revamped or gotten rid of. For example, in the Disneyland in Japan, there was a Dark Cauldron ride.
Oh, I bet that was cool.
Yeah, you can watch the whole thing on it.
And the alien experience that was too scary, that was here though. It was too scary, so they changed it to Stitch.
Yeah, they had to change it to Stitch.
They made it a less scary alien experience.
Exactly. After a while, you're like, okay, people don't seem to want to ride this ride.
I would have loved it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It would have been the time of my life. But yeah, that's definitely something worth checking out. But yeah, so Disneyland's toning down a little bit, and looks like they might pack up and leave, possibly.
Yeah.
And
all their Imagineers with them.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, not that I think they would ever come here, but oh my God, if they ever did.
Wouldn't it be great if they did? Because I just think about the way our mountains are shaped, how they could incorporate the rides and everything into the mountains and use the natural occurring landscapes here and the water for their water rides and everything. I think that could be something interesting.
I would consider that 1,000,001 chance, and I think the main reason I would call it 1,000,001 chance is because of our infrastructure here. Our roads would need to be a heck of a lot better, and we would need an international airport.
Right.
And we don't have that at all.
Tiny little airport on top of a mountain.
Yeah, exactly. And it's our biggest one. So
Yes.
everything else are just pond hoppers. But
Yep. Tiny.
yeah, but who knows? If that were to happen, maybe that would be the impetus to possibly get us an international airport, which would be nice. But that's one of the disadvantages of living out, as we like to say here.
The sticks, the hills.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. But I guess we'll find out. But let's just go ahead and get this rant out of the way.
I'm so sorry.
This bugged the heck out of me. The news came out, and this was released in Reddit because Marvel Comics, this was a leak. They weren't intending on anybody finding out about this until the issue dropped. I can't remember what issue of Amazing Spider-Man this is supposed to happen, but they've been advertising as we're going to have something that is as devastating as Gwen Stacy's death. And what they decided was they're killing off Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, man. Everyone is up in arms about it. They are.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, it's because, first of all, she's not like a major character in Spider-Man. She's appeared a little bit, but it's not like she's been like a mainstay in the Spider-Man universe. It's, okay, you're killing off this character. Why are you doing it in Spider-Man? And you got the Marvels coming out. In comic books, you want to make a character popular, you kill them.
Yeah.
You just do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I know comic books. I know she's not dead forever.
Right. Yes. Jean Grey dies 3 times a year.
The other thing, too, is it's funny you mentioned the X-Men. Right now, mutants live on their own island called Krakoa. The island is a sentient being, and it keeps backups of all the mutants. So if any mutant ever dies, they just take one out of storage and restore them. So mutants can't die. They have clones to replace them, and their consciousness goes into the new body. So you want to talk about jumping the shark. Yeah. That really jumps the shark. But again, you know she's not going to be gone forever. But the thing is, it's like right as this movie's coming out, you've killed off this character. And what bothers me, you have this wonderful actress, Iman Vellani, who played Miss Marvel so well, and we both enjoyed the television series. And now she's getting her big movie debut. What ticks me off is that this movie's coming out. It's going to be fun. She's going to be able to do world press conferences, and she's going to spend the entire time over and over again answering questions about, well, they killed your character off in the comics. What do you think about that? That's going to be the question. That's going to be the lead. She's going to be hounded by that question. And that's what bothers me. Like I said, I know in the comics, characters die and they bring them back.
Yep.
And yes, it's boring and it's cliched and it's hokey that anytime you want to make a character kind of popular, you kill them off and then bring them back. It's just that this wonderful young actress who's put her heart into this role and did a great television show that was really a lot of fun and we both enjoyed. And she's getting to do a movie and she's getting to do the red carpet and all that stuff. And I feel like the whole process is going to be ruined because she's going to be stuck with this question answering, well, what do you think about the fact that killed your character off in the comics? Do you think this is going to affect you in the movies? Do you think they're going to kill you off in the movies now?
Ugh.
It's not like she can answer that question. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know what they're going to do.
Right. And it doesn't always match
of course not.
The comics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now you've got this shadow hanging over your head and you've got these what's supposed to be fun, and this is a fun movie. Mm-hmm. But then you've got this thing hanging over your head the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I guess instead of them asking about her outfit, as they every female comic book character, they have to ask about their outfit. So
again, I just feel bad for that wonderful young actress who's put in a lot of work and now has to deal with this crap, and she shouldn't have had to. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that nobody is sitting there bombarding her with that damn question. But the minute I see an interview and somebody brings that up, I'm going to flip out. I am. Because Marvel Comics did not have to do this.
Not right now.
Not right now. Why now? Mm-hmm. Maybe I am flipping out a little bit too much. I sent you the message when I saw this. What were you thinking about when I sent that to you?
I had seen it like earlier in the day, and I just thought the same thing. It's like Jean Grey. It's like, okay, they're just going to bring her back. This is like soap operas. This is like anything else. This is just what you go through. The comic book character dies and then they come back to life. Death of Superman. Yeah. Oh, he didn't really die. He just goes into hibernation and then he wakes back up. This is something just par for the course.
Yeah.
It's a trope for a reason. It's what we get.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know we'll see that character again.
Yes.
Because if they don't bring her back,
we riot.
Yeah, we will riot. I don't know how this is going to affect everything, but I guess we'll see.
We shall see.
And with that said, we come to the end of episode 189. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time for the latest in geek news and views with the Geek Watch podcast. For Mandy Petrie, this is Brian Hatcher, reminding all the Geek Watchers out there, we're all geeky about something. Be proud of yours. See you next time. Thank you for listening to the Geek Watch podcast. If you enjoyed this program, don't forget to like and subscribe on your preferred platform and share this podcast on your social media. For links to all the ways you can listen to the Geek Watch podcast, as well as leave comments and suggestions, visit our website at geekwatch.net. The Geek Watch podcast is a Hanging J production.